We have one of the highest incidents of young suicide of any country in Europe. Here, in Ireland. The problem recognises no borders.
I keep asking why. There are no answers. With a suicide, the dead leave the questions for you.
The worst thing is wondering what led to it. He was always cheery, always smiling. My big brother. He was just my big brother.
I worry about them. No confidence. The loneliness. Empty days. Bored. Depressed. No future.
I keep on going, though I need to grow. For around the bend is a ray of hope.
There are so many of us out there. Too many. Mothers. Happens everywhere. You have a son who seems to have a perfect life. No worries. Job. Marriage. Children. Then one day he goes over the bridge. Sometimes the pain can lie hidden for years. Pain from the past. One man I read about, he was a victim of childhood abuse, sexual stuff. Then one day he was reading this report in the paper and something struck a chord with him, the name of a school or something. They found him on the bridge, getting ready to jump. He remembers waking up in Grantia. He doesn't remember how he got there. He doesn't remember anything. He doesn't know why. That's how it is for mothers. We live in fear and pain. Every day we're looking for answers. What? Why? One woman I know has buried two of her sons. The first one was on drugs. They found him in the house where he'd been staying. It took him 3 days to die. She was the one who took the decision to switch off the life support system. His younger brother couldn't cope. He just wanted to be with his brother. She couldn't stop him. No drugs this time. She said when they found him, he was as perfect on the outside as he was on the inside. How do you cope with that? Another mother I know says her life's on rewind, looking for the signs. She says her son was always so affectionate. He always had a big hug and a kiss for her. Then it stopped. Should you have noticed something? On Mother's Day, he bought her this great big Easter egg. He was gone by Easter. Was that a sign too? She keeps saying, I should have noticed. I should have done something. But would you have changed anything? Another woman I know went to the cemetery every day for months to scream out her anger at her partner's grave. He took his own life, leaving her with 3 young children to bring up. Why? She doesn't know. I don't know. And my son, He was always away from the house at the weekend, staying with friends and things, so there was no worry when he didn't show up at first. Nobody thought there was anything wrong, but I knew. And here, Mother knows. Carried him in my womb for 9 months. Carried him when he was learning to walk. Carried him when he was sick. I carried his coffin. He was 20. No mother should have to do that. It's not the natural order of things. I tell myself, he's in a better place now. I have to believe it. I miss him so much. It's not logical. Even if your child dies in a road accident or from some terrible disease, there's a reason. You have answers to your questions. With the suicide, the dead leave the questions for you. I see him in the garage. What was he thinking whenever he put whatever it was round his neck? Was he thinking that he'd never see us again? Or was the pain so bad that he didn't think anything? Just to end it. I remember hearing people screaming at me not to go in, but he was my son, my child. His brother cut him down. I took him in my arms and I hugged him and I was rubbing his wee cold hands, trying to warm them. I was screaming for an ambulance. I knew he was dead. I was screaming on my hands and knees in the middle of the road. None would move me. Until my own mother came. She led me away. Mothers, children. Sometimes when I wake up, just for that first split second, I forget that he's gone. Then I remember. Just like sometimes I'll see a hoodie like his in a crowd and I think it's him. Then I remember. Don't go to the supermarket anymore, it's stupid. I keep putting all the things he liked in the basket, like the very dear brown sauce. I always bought it for him because it was his favourite, dear and all as it was. Don't need it now. The family have all reacted in different ways. We're close, but all of our different ways of coping. His brother can't mention it, can't hear his name, can't look at his photo, can't listen to his music. Others talk about it all the time. His sister had given out to him about his drinking and shouted at him. She feels so guilty about it now, but she was only trying to help. His wee goddaughter, she's 3. She toddles around the house singing this wee song that she hears on the radio about suicide. What can you say? What can you do? We're walking around each other on eggshells all the time, trying to work out how life goes on. His friends came. There was hundreds of tributes on the Bebo sites. I wanted to shout at them, where were you when he was sitting in the house on his own with nothing to do? You only ever came looking for him when you had money and were going drinking. Come on up the bank and with a few cans. Weekends, dole money, drink. Drink equals friends equal drink. Simple equation here. There's a blind acceptance of it in our society. It's the same as drugs. Do you know they don't even take a note of any prescription drugs found in the body when somebody commits suicide? Because they're not legal. They're not legal. Don't tell me they don't have an effect. I know I'll only see him again when I'm dead. And it's like an explosion in my heart. I want to go with him, but I can't. I've seen what it does to those that are left behind. Suicide. I'm worried that his friends don't see it. Once it comes into a group, it becomes an option. Another one follows another one. I think to myself, if he had known how much people cared. But you don't have to die to know that. There's nothing cool about a 6-foot coffin. It's cold. Very, very cold.
I have been one acquainted with the night. I have walked out in rain and back in rain. I have outwalked the furthest city light. I have looked down the saddest city lane. I have passed by the watchman on his beat and dropped my eyes, unwilling to explain. I have stood still and stopped the sound of feet, when far away an interrupted cry came over houses from another street, but not to call me back or say goodbye. And further still, at an unearthly height, O luminary clock against the sky, proclaimed the time was neither wrong nor right. I have been one acquainted with the night.
They had it from me, the baby. I never knew. He was always cheery, always smiling, my big brother. I didn't know about the first time he tried, so it was such a total shock to me that he died. They all knew, but I didn't. They had it from me, the baby. I didn't know he was depressed. He was just my big brother. I couldn't cope. I started self-harming. I started cutting myself all the way up and down my arms for the pain. I had it at first. I couldn't talk about it. I saw a counsellor, and I'm getting there. They're getting things for us to do now, instead of sitting in the house, depressed, bored, alone. But it's hard to get involved. I did, but then sometimes it's hard. I don't know why. I think I will, but then maybe I don't. But I'm getting there. Sometimes it's good. Other times I just can't be bothered. It's hard. And I don't know why. People maybe that are depressed too, like, they don't go. They don't know why. When you do, it helps you have more confidence and to speak clear and all. I've been seeing a counsellor. It's good. I don't know why I don't always go. I don't know. But I'm getting there. I don't know. But I am getting there.
Why? It's the question every father asks, every mother, every day, maybe every hour of every day. But we have another why. Why? When he fought for 3 long years to get help, when he begged and pleaded for help, was our son left to die alone? We cope. Without the help of friends and family, we couldn't have coped. Where we have been left disappointed has been the response of the statutory agencies. Well, they were absolutely no use when he was alive. They're even less use now that he is dead. We asked for an independent investigation. We got an apology. Too late for our son. And unless things change drastically, too late for too many others too. Our son knew he was depressed. We knew he was depressed. Bullied, taunted, despairing marks of self-harm all over his body and his face. He was on 18 tablets a day, one for every year of his life. Independent research suggests that some of these drugs could lead to suicidal thoughts in young people. We asked the doctor. We're still waiting for an answer. Still, we waited. The wait was interminable. He begged to be admitted to hospital. There were no beds. Do you know how many beds there are for young psychiatric patients in our area? None. Not a one. Do you know how many young people died by suicide in this same area in the space of 3 months? 18. Kids are dying at the rate of more than one a week here in Ireland. The problem respects no borders. Yet this country's services for patients and troubled young people, they appear to be stuck in the dark ages. These may be just statistics, cruel and disturbing statistics. But behind each and every one of them are stories of unbearable pain. Young people today are different than in times past. There's pressure on them through the media and television to be high achievers. They're told anything is possible. When young people fail to achieve, they fail to make the grade. Like our son. There was nothing here for him. We hear about young people abusing substances to fill the vacuum, and some do. Our son hadn't left the house for years. He said if he went out, he'd end up drinking in street corners and taking drugs. He wanted a job, a purpose in life. At 15, he was cutting himself. Shallow cuts sliced along his lower arm using a disposable razor. We'd never heard of it before. We took him to a doctor. He said it was just a fad amongst young people, nothing to worry about. Our son hated school. He hated his enforced job training scheme. The depression returned. We took him to another doctor. He prescribed strong tranquilizers and antidepressants. They made him worse. He began cutting his face. We were living on the edge. We were consumed by a constant fear and worry. Every other morning there was cuts in his face or his arm. We didn't know where to turn. It took over our lives. Then the experts came. A succession of community psychiatric nurses and doctors and social workers. Well, they experimented with different medication. No use. He begged to see a psychiatrist. She was too busy. He begged to be admitted to hospital. There was no beds. He knew. He knew he was close to death. That night the door rapped with the bad news. I ran to a derelict house nearby. He was dead less than an hour. The services failed him. They say they're sorry, They say he slipped through the cracks. I say he fell to his death through an emotional and spiritual void because they did nothing. He was our only son. He was the first grandson. He was very lovable and special from the day he was born. He was very kind, with a heart of gold. He had the most wonderful smile, an amazing laugh. He would cheer you up if you were feeling down, unwell or unhappy. He was the heart and soul of any party. He'll be missed and loved. Always.
Oh, my lovely young one, when you took your leave last night, you offered me no teardrops, no kisses, no goodbyes, no simple explanation. You walked out the door, leaving Tina Nog for Tina Nika. Oh, my lovely young one, I'm left standing at your wake. My eyes are searching, but I can find no trace of your final footsteps as you walked out the door, leaving Tina Nog for Tina Nika. Oh, my lovely young one, oh, my lovely young one, gone from Tina Nog to Tina Nika.
Why? Just a few months ago, I didn't know why my auntie chose to die. Why my granny had to die. Why I was still alive. My granny, I cared for her. I loved her. Survivor's guilt. Was it my fault? Did I do enough for her? Depression took over. I became suicidal. Yet I'd seen what my auntie's death by suicide had done to my family. I struggled. Could I turn things around? I struggled to keep my head clear. I talked to my best friend, and I began to write, and write, and wish. I wish. I get this funny feeling. It comes from deep inside. I get all mad and angry and want to go and hide. My doctor calls it depression. Mom says it's just me. But the thoughts and feelings neither will ever see. Some say I'm psycho. Some say I'm just weird. It's like I'm a different person, and the old me just disappeared. I get really agey. I want to die real bad. Then I get a headache, followed by feeling sad. I wish I could get help. I wish it would go away. Maybe if I keep praying real hard, I'll be normal someday. Depression is the loneliest feeling, and if I can't share it with anyone through talking, at least I can share it through my writing. Alone. It comes from deep inside me. I never have a say, no clue on when it's coming, no time, no date, no day. This temper I have is making me mad. 1 minute I'm happy, the next I'm sad. I have depression, I do admit. Admit that I have been depressed, thinking how I did the wrong thing, thinking how I lost the best person in my life. thinking how much you can miss someone you love. When I look back, I can see how much this depression has been there in my life. I need this to be fake. I need this not to be true. I need to change, to look at things differently. But most of all, be here for you.
My wee sister's all right now. She's all right. But I worry. I worry about my dad too. Like when he goes out drinking at the weekends, I worry he won't come back. I always watch them. Like I have my own life to be getting on with. But I always watch them. I've seen too much of it. Suicide. Counting on my fingers. I know 6 who've done it. My wee sister used to talk about suicide. She'd walk out of the house and say she was going to kill herself. When she was 15. She was depressed and drinking. Wouldn't go to school or nothing. Then she got on a course. But she never went there either. She was in drugs. My dad was off his head with worry. He worries about all of us. He has a lot to contend with since my ma left. 16. That's when it gets bad. At least at school you have your days filled. Then your homework. Only drinking at the weekend. Everybody drinks at the weekend. Then you're left at school and that's it. No qualifications. I blame the schools. They tell you you're useless, a failure. No job, no sign of any job. And your whole day to fill. My wee sister used to lie in her bed all day, depressed. Then at night she'd go out drinking and do drugs. I know. I remember drinking to fill the day. Meet up with your friends, have a wee drink, feel happy. Passes the time. I blame the schools. And I blame the teachers. They bully if there's anything different about you. We were told we weren't well presented because my dad was rearing us himself after my ma left. It's hard on him. He gets depressed. He drinks at the weekend. I worry. But there you are. 16. A failure. Look around you. You see the older people drinking in the street, sick in the cold weather. You don't want to go on 20 or 30 more years to end up like that. No confidence. The loneliness. Empty days. Bored. Depressed. No future. I see ones 11 and 12 down our street. Drinking. No bother getting it. And with the bongs. all right when they're at school, they've homework. Suddenly they're 16 and it's all over. No going back. I thought about it too. When it all gets too much for me, and it all gets on top of me. I cried for a week once. I couldn't get the thought out of my mind. Suicide. I couldn't do it. I've seen what it does to others. It's the most selfish thing. But there'll be more. But I'm okay now. And my sister's off the drugs. She drinks less. Sees a counsellor. She has a boyfriend. Then I worry when she's not in the house, is she royal with him? She has no qualifications. No job. No sign of a job. She gets depressed. My dad still worries about her. Suicide. That thought, always there in the back of my mind. But I'm okay now. I work. I wanted work. I've greater self-confidence, a bit of money. I'm busy. I have purpose. I'm out on my own now. I had to look after myself, get on with my own life. But I'm not far away. My wee sister's okay now. You know? And my dad. I always watch them. But I worry.
I was away on a trip down south. Not that you ever get away from it. I bought this wee stone, just a wee cheap thing, a wee trinket, and I put it on his grave. Seemed to me, the words on it said it all. Don't try to understand me. Just love me.
I believe in the sun, even when it doesn't shine. I believe in love, even when it isn't shown. I believe in God, even when he doesn't speak.
I have a dream. I hope. I wish above the clouds, beyond the stars. Achefully, I hope. I plead, peacefully, I hope indeed. When all about me is black with gloom, and all I feel is pending doom. When my bones are racked with grim despair, when every breath is a gasp for air, I keep on going, though I have to grope, for around the bend is a ray of hope. A ray of hope is perhaps all that's left, as my will to live has been bereft. I've lost it all, it's just no use. I can end it all, I need no excuse. But I'll throw away that piece of rope and give myself a chance of hope. Just give myself another day, brushing aside what my thoughts may say. This is my life, and I can make a new start. By ignoring the brain, I will follow the heart. Taking baby steps in order to cope, and minute by minute I'll build on my hope. Build on my hope, one day at a time, though the road may be steep and hard to climb. The pains of the past, they should be dead. The fears of the future are all in my head. Just live in the present and refuse to mope. Someday my life will sparkle, for I am living in hope.
Oh, my lovely young one, when you took your leave last night, you offered me no teardrops, no kisses, no goodbyes, no simple explanation. You walked out the door, leaving Tina Nog for Tina Nika.